Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. There's the van. We're sitting a couple miles away from the apartment, which we're leaving, part of the nomad project here, trying to figure out how to talk about it in a different way. And, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is van life, right? You can see my puppy in there. He's not alone. Someone else is in the van right now, too. This is a very difficult stage for me because as we start to get out and try, see how the van feels, see what the vibe of the van is, how comfortable it is, what we're looking at with suspension, paint, everything. There's a lot of spending time in the park in the daytime, chilling out. We're doing little projects, all the cleanup, all the little fiddly bits, fixing the horn on the steering wheel, all the various little bits. It's hard to describe, but this makes it much more difficult to do all of the preparatory things that people think you're supposed to do before you go on an adventure or make a life change. This is actually a pretty big deal. Excuse the camera there. Because it's a program. It's something people think you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get all your affairs in order, do all this extra work, spend hours and hours and hours preparing and cleaning and doing, instead of just getting out on the road or moving or doing whatever it is you're doing, going out on the boat, That famous line from Captain Ron, if it's going to happen out there. Well, it's true, The more, this is only, fourth, fifth day, the more I come out here and work on the van little bits and try to feel the vibe, feel the vibration, the level, the sense, the flavor of what we're looking at, the harder it is to go back to the apartment and do anything at all. Now, I know for many people, being a productive member of society and having a certain amount of labor and value and everything is a very core part of experience, existence, and self-worth. I am currently not in a phase where my ability to grow beets, engage in customer service, phone calls, write code, or check out your groceries is a huge part of my sense of being, sense of self-worth. Okay? I've done all that, and it's great, and I'm sure I will do it again. And I am obviously working. Actually, it's probably not obvious if you're only watching my videos, but I do craft, I do make art, I do leather work, I do mechanical work, I help people build out their vans. There's always something going on. It's not that I'm in a non-productive... I am kind of in a non-productive space. It's not that I'm in a state of mind where I think that it's bad, wrong to be productive, to be whatever that thing is that you think you owe society just for existing, just for having the breath of life. But, that's actually part of my game. I teach people that if you're going to be part of society that way, you need to do it on your own terms, not because you owe anyone just for existing. Like, you really need to break yourself of that and get out of that and get into a place of creative responsibility. You want to make society better because it pleases you, not because you are in debt, under duress, whatever. Anyway, so that goes into this with this whole thing where I'm spending the time in the park doing the projects, on the van and getting myself set back up. I've got to reset a travel kitchen. I've got to reset the idea of how do I nap in the van with 3 people when we're not setting up a campsite. Now, sometimes we're setting up a campsite, and that's great, but sometimes we're not, and that's also great. Sometimes you're just going to sleep overnight on a National Park Service road, Forest Service road, and then you're going to hike all the trails in Sedona, and you're going to do that 3 or 4 days, because the sleeping part is the least little bit of what you're doing. That's fine. It's not worth setting up a tent and striking the tent every night to do that when you're just basically passing out for 6 hours in the dark. There's a whole set of things to this, like different modes. And that is one of the key elements that I'm going to have to try to work on with the video projects and the book, is explaining multimodality. Some days you're going to sleep in the car. Some days you're going to set up a campsite and you're going to be there for a month, okay? And you're going to dig your little rain trenches, and you're going to stand up your table, and you're going to spike everything down so that it doesn't blow away in the wind, and it's all going to be wonderful and fantastic. And it's a day to set up, and it's a day to tear down. And that's okay if you're staying for a month. It's okay if you're staying for 2 weeks. It's not really where you want to be if you're staying for the weekend. So you want something lighter. You want something easier. I'm a big fan of hammocks when that's possible for that, because sleeping in a hammock is just cake. As long as you have a ridge line, everything is easy. Double ridge line, but I'll get to that later. So I'm going to try to do my everyday videos now and just punch this through and make this happen. But, look at that. Look at those buttes. Oh, beautiful buttes. It's really hard to go back to the apartment, even to just make dinner at this point. We are so ready. Still have a whole bunch of stuff. 1,200 pounds, 1,500 pounds of stuff to sell, give away, potlatch, get rid of, have to deal with addresses. And of course we have to raise the funds because the Veterans Administration has decided to be broken. So that has an impact. That's all, We're doing pretty good. Do stay tuned. Do not forget that there is a Sideways Coyote, spelled with a K, Substack. And right now I'm doing a daily writing project of baseline health exploration. There's Nomad Wednesdays and there's Floating Fridays that are weekly features when I can keep up with them. And we're going to start working on the book, The Existential Dharma Bum Nomad Guide. All right, stay sideways. Chill out.